Hello everyone, welcome back to Friday night race night at Fresh Sim Racing. Put my teeth back in, I can start the stream properly. We have our final round for you tonight. This is our final round of Season 2 for our Club Sprint Race Challenge. We are at Bathurst, as the title suggests, for our final round. We've been live streaming every single one of our rounds here for Season 2. If you've missed any of the rounds, be sure when you get a moment to head back and oversee them on our YouTube channel. You should be able to see all the previous races in this season. So what to expect for tonight is the usual. It's our 5 cars that we're going to bring to you one after another. So starting with the Formula Renault 3.5s, you can see Valeside Racing driving round the first corner into the cut-in. Then we're going to head across to the Lamborghini Super Trofeo. That car is potentially the most difficult to be driving around here. The third race will be in the Aston Martin DBR1. Then the fourth race will be in the Renault Clio, and we'll fire up in the Ginetta GT5s. Watch out for the Clio and the Ginetta GT5s. They are potentially the cars with the most entertainment around this track, but the frailty and the fragility of these Formula Renaults makes racing very interesting. Especially the race winner will effectively be the driver who has to make the least number of trips through the pit lane for repairs. So we are racing with damage on, and it's only performance damage, so the guys should be able to get back to the pits for repairs. So it won't be a case of they have a massive moment, they'll damage their entire race. But there's a lot for the drivers to get done. So they've got 10 minutes of practice. All drivers only have 10 minutes of practice to be able to get used to the cars, to get used to the track. And then we're going to go into a 10-minute race. There is no qualifying. The grids are set to random. So completely randomized grids, which usually sees Inter All Sorts get the better of the rub of the green. But he's not available tonight, taking drop round, which means he will not be able to transfer any more points onto the board for the standings. So I'm just going to grab the standings for everyone, just so you know where we're kind of seeing at the moment and who is in contention. Drivers are racing for the overall championship, so this is the points from all 5 cars compiled together to basically show who is the most adaptable driver and who is the best at the sprint racing in Season 2. Then drivers are fighting for individual honours in the different cars that are available. So the Formula 3.5 Championship, then there's the Super Trofeo individual rights, so all 5 individual championships. And in the Formula Renault, it is Inter All Sorts who leads the way by 6 points. But Sam Thumbfinger and Kingy, you'll know Sam Thumbfinger by his white and orange Bandai Namco number 8 livery. There he is going down the straight now. He's only got 6 points to gain to take the championship, but so does Kingy. And Kingy you'll find in the green, number 19. So these two gents, providing they score more than 6 points, fastest lap is available for 1 extra points. Whoever tops the scores will potentially, or effectively, take the championship. The drivers behind are slightly too far behind to make too much of a difference. Harry is in 4th on 47 points and Wayne in 5th on 45. So the drivers are then kind of fighting for the rest of the rest positions. But as mentioned, the championship leader is not in this race. So he's going to be sacrificing his Formula Renault championship. Wherever he is, I hope he's having a great time nonetheless. But it has provided us with some great entertainment. It's because sure to watch out these 2 drivers, because they, like I've mentioned, they are the 2 in the know-how. Wayne is he's in the number 5 Fanatec livery. He's recently got some Fanatec gear, so that is very apt for Wayne, and hopefully that comes into good stead around this very tricky, very technical circuit. 2 long straights and a bit of a mountain climb in between. Harry, you'll see in the D-box, the white, predominantly white car there. Obi in the 21, I think that is. And we have Charlie Goff in the other Fantech livery, number 6. Now, just because they're in the same livery does not mean they're teammates. We're going off the different numbers, so the drivers are fighting independently. There is no team orders here. Valeside in that blue and silver livery. We've seen Valeside towards the front of the grid in these cars, so if he can get a good run off the line and get into a good tow, he should be able to make some moves going forward. DRS going to be a big component of these cars in these races for the 2 long straights, so if you can get within the DRS range of the guy ahead, or whoever can best use the DRS range, is going to have a massive advantage. Liam, who's joined us for his third round, we've seen really good things from Liam in the first 2 rounds, really impressed out at Nürburgring Sprint Circuit, and then last week in the very wet Brands Hatch held his home in a number of different cars, so we'll see if he can get used to this car and the setup with only less than 4 minutes remaining of practice. Just waiting for Ice Dude to appear. We'll have a look. He's in that bright yellow livery. He shares that livery with Ambient Stubb, another driver who's not able to race this weekend. But so he's got 3 championships on the line later on in the evening, and we'll go through them as and when they occur. But he's in the position to potentially win one of them, despite the outcome of the race. The last guy to keep an eye on here is Jinx. He takes a little bit of a love tap to the wall in the blue and white Panasonic. Jinx has been working a lot on improving his line, his consistency, and getting his braking points in order. So something he's really struggled with these cars is getting the braking down. A lot of locking up. I know he's dealing with a few modifications and a few different changes in his style. So hopefully we'll see Jinx able to find some sort of rhythm around what is a very, very tricky track. Sam is currently the fastest man out there. He's in a league of his own right now, roughly in 1 minute 50. So I think we are going to see a lot of times faster than that once the cars get up to speed and once the drivers get used to everything going around the track. So what has been a very, very interesting season. We've seen a lot of very interesting moments, a lot of great racing. Not so much in these Formula Renaults, so here's hoping that these guys can keep it nice and clean. Sam has a little bit of a kiss of the wall there on the exit. Gets over the drain. He's up on his time though, so he'll be happy for that. Can he carry that time over the hill and back down again? A little bit of a kick of oversteers. He hits the curb. This is the view that Sam will be seeing right now as he's going through the very tight walled section, coming back down the hill, finds a braking point, coming downhill, and then power on as early as he can, avoiding the exit, and then back down the hill. This is where one of the 3 sections we should expect to see drivers employ the DRS if they well, this is definitely one, and then the next section will be on their confidence, how early they can get on the power. So this bit here coming down into the final corner, and then as they exit the final corner they want to get the power down and open up for the maximum speed gain. Sam able to better his time there by another second as we go into what will be the last lap of anybody out there practicing, because it's coming under a minute remaining now. If you're there joining us for the stream at any point, or if you're watching back, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you are already subscribed. Then you can get notifications and the updates of when we start to go live. We'll hopefully start to bring you a bit more of our racing. This is only one of 3 series coming to an end for our season 2. We have touring cars. They're finishing up their final race on Sunday night. Final race will be at Alton Park, and then on Wednesday, this following Wednesday, will be the end of our M1 Pro Car Enduro Race Championship with tyre regulations and fuel regulations. That's coming to a very interesting close. But the hopes for next season are looking good for the two replacement series. We are going to be running a 1991 replica DTM season with the Group A cars, which are going to be the Mercedes, the BMW and the Audi around a series of European tracks. And we've also got a replica 1969 Trans Am series with the Chevrolet Camaro and the Ford Mustang, which is all going to bring some very interesting racing. As alluded to last week on the stream, Sprint Race will be staying with us. It's going to have a slight change of format, but if you want to join us for a Sprint Race challenge, don't forget to drop a mention in the comments and we'll get you a link over to the Discord so you can chat with the guys who are racing. But right now we've seen the end of the practice session. Remember, there is no qualifying. We are going to go straight into the race. So the drivers heading out should have already finished their lap. So effectively waiting for Charlie to finish his lap, and then we should be able to move on to find out what the first grid order is of the races. Charlie's fighting a lot of oversteer in that car as he's trying to get the tyres up and running. Or he's dealing with a lot of damage after gliding up with the barrier further up the hill, one of the two. So that's the end of the first practice session. Drivers will now take to the grid and they'll have to choose between one of two setups, either this stable or loose, and we'll have a look at the grid to see where everyone stands. So in first we have Vale Side Racing. He takes the pole spot alongside Charlie Goff in P2. Sam is in P3 and Kingy is in P4. That is very interesting. These two drivers, keep an eye on them, the white and orange of Sam and green of Kingy, fighting for the championship effectively. Obiski is in P5 with Liam alongside in P6. Harry is in P7. He's got Wayne Company on the right hand side in 8th, and then Ice Dude is in P9th with Jinx at the back of the grid in P10. We'll just bring the map up for you and we'll have a look down the grid. So 10 minutes of racing now for these guys. So we should expect to see, just going to do the math very quickly in my head, should expect to see 5 or 6 laps of racing in these Formula Renaults, depending on the number of collisions and incidents, of course. Drivers now in the final moments will be getting ready to race, and all drivers are on the grid. 10 drivers into this first race, the final race of the season, and we've got 3 lights and we are away. It's a very good start at the front of the grid and a bit of commotion at the back of the grid, but Vale Side is very quickly off the line, and Sam who gets the better jump start off the grid, and in fact they gets around Charlie Goff. So Vale Side leads. Sam Thumbfinger is in second. Kingy's made his way up to third. Now that is crucial with the points. Sam will take 2 more points, so even if Kingy gets the fastest lap, it will be Sam, as it stands, who takes the title. Charlie Goff running very wide there, allows Liam through, and he's now putting pressure onto the back of Kingy. Harry's up into 5th as Liam goes very, very wide at the cut-in and takes a lot of damage. So he'll have a lot of suspension damage. Expect to see him in the pits at the end of this lap for sure. Vale Side there taking a little bit of curb as Sam is up into the lead. So Vale Side's going to be dealing with a lot of damage now. Will Kingy find a way through? There's Harry in the white car in 3rd. Liam is in 5th still, even with that clatter with the wall. Charlie Goff 6th. Obiski is in 7th. Wayne is in 8th. Jinx in 9th. And Ice Dude in 10th. As Harry looks for the inside of the cut-in there. That was the elbow, my apologies. And Kingy is on the gravel. Hope he hasn't got picked up too many damage. But this is your race leader coming down the hill for the first time. It's Sam Thumbfinger with a 4-second lead over Valeside, who has Harry all over the back of him. And in fact, Harry should make a very easy pass around the outside with DRS. There's Kingy behind in 4th. He's dropping down. And there's Liam behind him in 5th. Will he be able to get ahead? Liam not on this lap, it would seem, unless he has a late dive and inside locks up under braking, but no way through. Kingy takes his line and drives away. Harry is coming round now and he's free to chase down Sam Thumbfinger, who is in the prime position to take the championship in these Formula Renaults with a 4-second advantage. But anything can happen. There's just less than 8 minutes to go now, so lap 1 done. Effectively 4, maybe 5 laps to go. Can Sam keep it out of the wall and keep this pace up? How is the rest of the field looking? Yep, Liam is into the pits as expected for his damage repair. He does seem to be the only driver in for pits for Res, which seems very good. As we watch Sam come up the hill, rather cut it into the right-hander, and this is where we saw him get a tiny bit wide, but Sam is the fastest man out on track. Here's Harry up the hill, but he's going a lot quicker now, and Valeside is in 3rd. Kingy's dropped off, he's coming up the hill in 4th. 10 seconds between the two championship rivals. Wayne, fantastic start for Wayne, finds himself up in 5th, and he leads the chase there with Ice Dude up from last on the grid up into 6th. Then we have the controller battler here, Charlie Goff racing controller, so don't envy his position, but he's shown to be very, very quick. So don't rule him out of it yet so far. There's Obiski in P8. There's Liam in P9 as we see Jinx has spun around. That's going to be a trip to the pits, I'm sure, for Jinx. He's definitely missing a front nose cone, potentially a lot more damage. This is your race leader, Sam, with a considerable lead coming into the final corner. 8 seconds lead gained on the first 2 laps. Let's have a look a little bit further back. Valeside is behind Kingy. In fact, Valeside's coming into the pits, so he's going to drop an awful lot of positions for a little bit of repairs. That's freed Kingy up. He now needs to find his rhythm. He's lapping beneath 2 minutes, so 1:59.3 is a good time. Can he find some more time in that in his laps? Because last lap lapped in a 1:51.0. Massive bit of wheel spinning off the corner from Sam as he drives his way up the hill, and it is still improving on his lap time. Where is Valeside in the pits? He's still there. There's a series of cars coming round now. Just looking for Charlie Goff. He's coming to pits for repair. He's missing his front nose cone as well, so Valeside will come out at least 9th. There's Liam coming down the hill. Will he cause a problem? No, he's heading for the pits as well. You can see serious damage to the car, not wanting to go where it's being told to go there, so a lot of damage for him, and Valeside leaves the pits in 7th. It's a really fantastic racing from the guys further up the field. Wayne in 4th will be a good result for Wayne if he can hold on to the back of the cars ahead. In fact, he's not far behind Kingy. I wonder if Kingy's made a mistake there during the mounting, because he's definitely dropped off the front. In fact, no, Wayne was definitely faster lap time around, so Wayne lapping a 1:58.5. This lap looks like Kingy could break into the 1:58, so if Wayne could... Yeah, Wayne is going to be drifting to the low 1:58, so Wayne lapping faster than Kingy at this point, and he's got just about enough time to put a little bit of pressure on. And we're under the halfway point now. The car's starting to branch out a little bit. The guys in the pits for their repairs are being lapped, so the Jinx, Liam and Charlie Goff are now a lap down. We're watching Wayne come around the final corner, and that was Kingy up ahead in the green livery. There is Kingy. That gap is closing down very, very quickly. It's now coming under 2 seconds. In the background you can see the yellow car of Ice Dude. He's in 5th. He's got a good gap to Obiski. and then another 15-20 second gap to Valeside in 7th. But that should be no more dramas with his drivers if they can keep it out of the wall. Just jump on board here with this is your race leader. We'll get his view coming down. Very tricky part, very difficult braking points. Understeering, but keeping it out the wall. You see the walls come very thick and fast here on this track. It's really good racing. Full power as he comes flying down the hill. What's the view of Wayne? He's now locked onto the back of Kingy ahead. Has he got enough in the tank to be able to catch up? This slightly different line to Sam. We can see Sam carrying a little bit more speed through this section, but carrying more speed does increase more risk. The gap now ever so slightly increasing, but Wayne is found nearly a second so far on this lap alone. So has he got enough going into the final 3 minutes? He's gained so much time under the brakes here. Little bit of power on oversteer as he comes down onto the bridge for the final corner. We're seeing this gap now under 2 seconds. Wayne's definitely a lot more comfortable on the brakes as he puts a lot of boot of oversteer and manages to keep it, not collect into the wall. Really good car control there from Wayne. We see Sam takes a little bit of the wall. Should be one more lap after this one with the pace that Sam is running, so the 6 laps should definitely be a possibility. There's Harry. He's slowly improving his times, but he's 15 seconds off the lead, and there's a 15-second gap then to this battle for Kingy in 3rd and Wayne in 4th. As it stands, Sam will take the championship from Kingy due to the fact that he's going to be picking up considerable more points, and he's going to get the bonus point for fastest lap. So 20 points for the win, 17 for 2nd and 15 for 3rd. So this will give Sam a 6-point lead if everything stays the way it is. But with 1 lap more to go, there's still the chance that Sam could end up with his car catastrophically in the wall. How's the rest of the grid looking? There's Ice Dude in 5th. He's having a really good, clean race. It's not something we can say for Ice Dude in the recent weeks. He's always seemed to find himself on the end of a collision or a wrong point in the wrong place at the wrong time. So he's been caught up in other people's collisions, but he's having a really clean race this week. Abiski in 6th has had a really nice run in. Valeside is recovery driver. He's catching up to Abiski. That gap was 20 seconds. It's now down to under 10 with 1 lap to go. I doubt Valeside's going to have enough in the tank to get around. Charlie Goff and Liam racing round, although they're not doing so very clean. In fact, there's a car spun around there. That is Charlie against the wall. And there is Jinx in the pits for some more repairs. Sam coming over the hill for the final time then. He is going to catch on to the battle or the stricken car of Charlie Goff very shortly. Such is the pace difference between the guys at the front and the rear. Now I wouldn't expect the pace difference to be sustained over the night as the cars get slightly slower and the driving gets a little bit closer. So Sam comes flying down the hill. The battle between Wayne and Kingy is getting very intense, so the two guys are heading up the hill. Here is Wayne now. He's within a second of Kingy. Will he be in a position to make a move? In fact, Ice Dude is directly behind and he's closing up into this battle. So both drivers very slow last lap, a 158 and a 157 respectively. But here's your race winner, and we missed him go across the line, and there's Liam parked across the line there. Harry is going to come across the line to take second. And then it's the third battle behind, which is the most interesting one. There is Kingy. He's currently holding third, but Wayne's going to have a run coming down the hill. But I think it's just going to be a little bit too far away. We know Wayne is slightly better on the brakes. Tiny bit of a lock up there. Kingy being very cautious. Coming down into the final corner. There's Nico for good measure. Nice dude in the bright yellow car. He's just going to be too far back as well. So it is going to be Kingy who takes P3 and P2 in the championship overall. Wayne will take P4 and Ice Dude is going to take P5. It's Valeside who's going to take P6. Good recovery drive from him. He's managed to find that time in the last lap to overtake Abiski. And then we should see Charlie Goff take P8. Liam will take P9 and Jinx the final position in P10. Best lap time will be to Sam, as you can see, in the 149.9. That was a ridiculous lap there for Sam. But Liam is going to have a 10-second penalty, but it shouldn't matter because the gap is going to be rather considerable. That 10-second penalty will be for speeding in the pit lane. So just waiting for the drivers to finish across the line. Could be a little bit of a wait for the driver to finish across the line with a few cars stricken around the track. There is your grid then for the first race of round 6. So it's Sam who finished ahead of Harry, and then Kingy in third. Sam taking the championship from Kingy in the end. Wayne will take fourth, Ice Dude in fifth, Valeside sixth, Abiski seventh, Charlie Goff eighth, Liam in ninth, and Jinx in 10th. So now we will head back to the lobby so we can get into the next race. And we do have another driver joining us from a Valium race. Will be Ollie. Ollie is joining us for the next race. So not able to make the first one, but he is now here, and drivers now free to select the Lamborghini Super Trofeo. They'll get their livery sorted, and then we'll jump into the practice session. So the final standings in the Formula Renault sees, as mentioned, Sam takes the spoils of the points. In first, he leads with 82 points, 5 points ahead of Kingy, who leads 9 points ahead of Inter All Sorts, who holds on to that P3 position, which was very, very close. Because Harry is in fourth on 64. Wayne finds himself in fifth on 58. Valeside in 51 for the guys at the top. And then we're just going to wait for the drivers to get everything in their liveries, and then we should be able to go from there. And the drivers are ready to launch. So this is going to be the second race of the evening in the Super Trofeos. Now expect a little bit of chaos in these cars because they're very, very interesting to be driving around here. The drivers do need to be a little bit more careful on their driving style. The Formula Renault was a bit of it, very much a full-on race. Whereas the Lamborghini Super Trofeos are a bit more, got to be a bit more cautious, got to be a bit earlier on the brakes. Make sure you're not turning in too harshly. You don't want to be scrubbing the tyres because you will lose traction. Now we get to see hear the beautiful sound as the car's having a bit of a moment there in and out of the pits, but this is beautiful sounds of the Lamborghini. Firing up, and in just a short moment we'll take you through the drivers on the grid and all the liveries and who to keep an eye out for. So let's have a look at the drivers. Here is Ollie, who missed us for the Formula Renaults, but he is here in his number 44 livery and immediately having a moment with the wall. Something that I have in practice for myself. There's Valeside. He is the guy to beat after his drop round successfully taken. Valeside is considerably ahead. In fact, he's 19 points ahead of Enter All Sorts. And with Enter All Sorts not racing tonight, it does mean that Valeside should take the points, take the championship, because Charlie Goff, who's the guy who's in third, is far too far behind to be able to take the points. So Valeside, even if you don't finish the race, you will take the championship in the Super Trofeo, as Enter All Sorts, the closest competitor, not able to race. Wayne has an interesting battle though, because he's going to be fighting with Sam Thumbfinger and Ambient Stuff, but Ambient's not racing either, so he's fighting with Sam Thumbfinger for points. Both drivers not particularly accustomed to this type of car, but they both had some really good results in coming weeks. There's Liam. He's had really good results in the Super Trofeos so far since he's joined us, but this going around this track is another story. There's Ice Dude in orange and red livery, another one who's struggled. He's actually struggled with these cars in the past, but hoping for a little bit different tonight. Charlie Goff in the other red livery. There's Sam. He's going to be in the bright purple livery, leaving shortly. Harry driving around in the 68 68 livery for Harry. I believe Obi's in the either 68 or 69 as well, so don't get confused between those two drivers. Risky if the guy's going for a little bit of a beach ride there. Can you get the car stopped in time? He can. It gets out the wall. The only drivers we haven't seen yet out of the pits are Jinx, and he's going to be in the Brew livery. Just not sure which one, so waiting to see him leave the pit lane. This is also Kingy. Kingy's the guy who should put a battle in for third position. So title is all decided, but the rest of the field is very much open, with 20 points separating third down to 9th position, and what is a very difficult car around a very, very difficult track. So only 5 minutes or so left for the drivers to get used to a very different car around a very, very tricky track. Currently Valeside seems to be the most coherent guy. Is he flashing the guy behind there, or is that just a chocolate? The driver in front gets well off the racing line. Yep. Acknowledges the guy behind's on a really good lap. Let's see what sort of time he can pop up on the board. The Lamborghinis around here, as you can hear, they do sound pretty fantastic. Or at least you hope you can hear them as well. So it actually gets a little bit too hot into the final corner. That's what I was mentioning about trying to carry too much speed in these cars. It really does not like it. You really do have to get the car slowed down and not overwork those tyres. They don't really want to be doing two things at once. They're either going forward or backwards, or you're turning left and right. You don't want to be putting too much effort on them. Harry's out doing the 2:15. Vale with that massive moment, he did a 2:18, but we know that lap time was a lot quicker. We see again Valeside taming that oversteer. Now the Lamborghini does inherently, in default setting, come with a considerable amount of understeer through the corners, and the oversteer can help you get round. But this is a track with not much run-off area, and you don't have much margin for error. This Valeside is powering up the hill. But it takes a little bit too much power up the hill as he takes too much speed and bounces off the outside of the corner. He won't be able to get away with that too many times. The Lamborghini is a lot more durable than the Formula Renaults, but they still will end up picking up a lot of damage if you don't treat them with that little bit of respect that they need. So we'll jump on board with Valeside. Nice and easy on the power through here, very gently back on the power. Getting nice and tucked into the corner. Gets the car turned in, and then on the power down the hill. And then you just get to hear that Lamborghini roar. That through the little right hander there. Very late on the brakes. Can he keep control of the car? The car kicks and gets grip and then spins all around. So again, 2 laps in a row. Valeside not finding that racing line that he needs, or not finding his braking points. He's only got potentially one more time around to get that sorted. So, and then he's into the race. Let's hope he can get his braking point sorted though, so he's not going to get too sideways in the race. Even though the championship is effectively his, he's going to want to get a good result here to put him in contention for the overall standings. The championship points, so all the points between the individual championships combined, and it's Valeside and Harry, the guy you can see on screen, and potentially Sam Thumfrung as well. Those three are battling for the overall points standings across all 5 championships combined. So Valeside will need to sort out, because Harry around here in his Lamborghini is absolutely flying. Get right over the curb, gets it slowed down. Car on the outside, not a problem. Little bit of kick of getting the car oversteered to get it around the corner there. Flat on the power. Lift off, braking line, gets the car turned. Harry definitely enjoying himself. There's a little bit of flair in this driving to show that he's really enjoying it. He's a second up in his best time, nearly it so far, so we can find a bit more time in this final corner. We'll see Harry into the 1:10. A 2:10. The sprint race should, in these Lamborghinis, should effectively see 5 laps. 4 to 5 laps depending on the overall pace. Harry is going to come across the line. He's got time for one more. No time improvement though. So his last time was a 2-minute 10.2, but he must have had a collision with another driver, and that's invalidated his time. But he has got one more time to go. Kingy has shown he's got a bit of pace, this guy. He's done a 2:16 and he's found another 1.5 seconds effectively coming up the hill already. So Kingy's tyre pressures and heat coming up toward a little bit of sparks there, and that's a little bit too much of the wall. That's going to slow him down. Charlie Goff's got a relatively good time, and a lot of drivers not maximising their practice, or at least not setting times yet. But the time is now done, so just waiting for the drivers to complete the final bit of practice, and then we'll be straight to the grid. This is the second of 5 races, so 3 more races to come of our final round. Everything gets decided tonight, so all the championships get decided. Some are closer than others. We've already seen Sam Thumfinger take the Formula Renault 3.5 championship. Has he got the results in him to find the overall championship? Now the overall championship winner does get a place in a special event that's happening on December the 20th, where Fresh Sim Racing will be effectively battling against Real Racing in a Ferrari versus Ford battle out at Indianapolis Road Circuit in the vintage prototype B cars. That will be live streamed for you for the endurance race between those cars. So the winner here is guaranteed an automatic place in the finish. Harry, who is currently racing slightly slower than Valeside in this qualified section, practice session, he has got a spot for winning our touring car championship. Ambient Stub look like he's going to take a spot with the M1 Pro Car Championship. So this position here is going to be very interesting to take. How does the grid look coming into race 1? So there's Liam. He takes the pole by default, and there's Abiski in second. Charlie Goff is in P3. Valeside is in P4. Watch out for the battle between Valeside and Harry, who's lining up behind him. There's Valeside and the green ahead, you can see there. Ice Dude is in 6 with Wayne next to him in P7. There's Jinx in P8. Sam in P9. Kingy P10. And Ollie, just joining us, gets put to the back of the grid. So we're going to focus on this battle really between Valeside in the green livery there and Harry in the white and black behind. Just waiting for the lights to change. We have 1 red, 2 red, 3 reds. And it's a very, very good start from Harry. And he's already up on the inside of Valeside. So we'll have to check to see if that wasn't a jump start. But Harry does have the a very early lead. He's jumped for 4th and 2nd. It's all the drivers behind stay and true. So drivers, there's no time penalties, so there's definitely not a jump start there. Harry getting a good run up the hill. In fact, Harry's finding his way up into first after the first corner. Coming to corner 2. There's Harry, who's coming up the hill, leads Liam in 2nd. Obiski is still in 3rd, and Valeside on the outside is around. Obiski's into the wall. He's slow off the wall. Is he going to get collected by the drivers? Let's hope he's not. So there's Valeside back up into 3rd. So he's gained 1 position from the start of the race. There's Charlie Goff in the red car. Red and black, he's in 4th. There's Wayne in 5th. He's got Ollie for company from the back of the grid up in 6th. Sam in the purple livery is in 7th. And Ice Dude in the orange there, he's in P8. Kingy finds himself in P9. Abiski and Jinx at the back of the order. Abiski may be carrying damage. And definitely Jinx will be carrying damage now he's had that kiss for the wall. How's this battle out front? Well, there's Valeside trying to close up to the back of Liam. As we come through the very twisty section, he's gained a lot of time here. All drivers in the same section. Valeside running very wide there. On the exit car, got a little bit sideways, but very contrasting lines coming into the final corner. And on the power we go. This battle further back is getting a bit warm as well. So there's Ollie having a look on the outside of Wayne. Ollie's on your right hand side, Wayne on the left hand side. It's both drivers head side by side. Sam behind getting a nice turn. They all form up nicely coming into the right hander before the braking zone. Any dramas in this braking zone? Not on this lap, so everyone is nicely through. The end of lap 1 then. Here is your race leader. It's Harry, who has a 4-second advantage, nearly 4-second advantage. Velside has got through past Liam onto the final corner. There is Liam in the red car behind. Behind him is absolute pandemonium behind. It's Charlie leads Ollie, who leads Wayne and Sam as they all come down into the first corner. Then there's a tiny bit of a gap to Kingy in that green, blue and white Henless livery, which you'll then find followed by Ice Dude. Jinx is doing well right now. He's holding onto the back of the battle. Hopefully Jinx can keep it out of the water. Bisky into the pits as expected from that moment at the end of the first lap. So this is the most potent battles. Liam takes a little bit too much of the curb on the entry there. That's going to cause him a lot of time. And Charlie Goff has closed up the back to the back of him. So Charlie Goff carrying a lot of drivers behind. In fact, Ollie under a lot of pressure from Sam there. Sam is past Wayne though, so Wayne has dropped down into P7. And Charlie Goff definitely the cork in the bottle here as he runs a little bit deep. In fact, that is now a number of cars through. Ollie is through. Is Sam going to find his way through? Yes, but he's into the wall as a result, so getting far too wide on the exit. That's going to be considerable damage for Sam. I can't see him finishing the race with that sort of damage, so we'll have to see how he fares. There's Wayne behind. Charlie Goff dropped from 4th to 7th on that lap, and now he's got Kingy, Ice Dude and Jinx for company. All these cars from 3rd down to 10th separated by 5 seconds, which is almost nothing on this sort of track when we get towards the straight. Although Jinx has now dropped off, presumably a moment with the wall undoing for Jinx. The battle out front is hasn't much changed. Harry is still leading as he's heading into the final corner with about 4 seconds advantage over Valeside in second. Then there is this 5-6 car battle happening for effectively 3rd place. Liam is the red car who leads this battle. There is Ollie and then Sam. Wayne is in P6, he's the white car, so he come on the corner there, and then we have Charlie Goff and Kingy directly behind. Ice Dude has dropped off the back of this battle though, and Jinx also. We'll see if Jinx heads into the pits this time around. No, he's keeping his car out on track. Abisky is the only guy who has pitted. He's the blue marker on the minimap on the right hand side. So as long as he can keep on track, he shouldn't be lapped. There's only less than 5 minutes remaining now. So 2 more laps effectively for these guys, if they can keep it nice and clean out the wall. This is your race leader, Harry, flying through, extending his lead out front for Valeside. Now Valeside has won the championship, and Harry is his closest competitor for the overall championships in terms of all 5 championships put together. So the overall championship is leaning in Harry's favour as it stands. Currently 3 points between them heading into this race as Valeside misses the braking point and slows down, takes a bit of a time deficit, and then gets himself back on the power. So Harry would extend his lead by another 3 points depending on fastest lap timers, potentially 4 points, with 3 races left in this season. Meanwhile, Ollie finds himself in 3rd with Sam all up behind him, and there's Liam who was in 3rd. He's now dropped down to P5 and is starting to come under pressure from the battle of Wayne, Kingy and Charlie Goff. Charlie Goff's starting to drop down. In fact, I think Charlie Goff is about to be overtaken by Ice Dude. So one of Charlie Goff's had a moment. In fact, there's a yellow flag there in Sector 2. So definitely a car is spun around and now back on track. Yeah, car is now back on track, so Charlie Goth has dropped all the way down and is only 2 seconds ahead of Kingy. This is the battle between Ollie and Sam for the last of the podium places. It's Ollie in the white and red car. There's Sam in the purple. Now Sam had a massive moment with the wall a few laps ago, so he's going to be carrying damage, but Ollie's also got a few markers there on the side of his car, a couple of grazes, so he's had a few moments. There's a little bit of a battle behind as well. There's Wayne, same livery as Ollie, but he has the yellow markings on his spoiler, and then Kingy behind in the purple, blue and green. Can Kingy use a slipstream to a good advantage here? We are going to jump on board here with Kingy as he comes up the hill. Let's see if he can gain any more time in this braking zone. Brakes nice and early, ride in the camber of the corner, power on as early as you dare, get nice and wide. Now this next bit's going to be very tricky to overtake, so Wayne just needs to hold his lines, gets the car tucked in and back on the power. Wayne definitely got a better exit off that corner, is able to pull ever so slightly ahead. But Kingy is running slightly faster this lap than his last time around, so last lap wasn't 2:16s. This could be closer. Wayne off the pace at the top of the hill. Kingy is now going to look to take advantage, but there isn't much room for an overtake here. It's all about getting your car lined up in the best position you can. Is Kingy going to be close enough off the final corner to be able to make a run? See a little bit of smoke on the inside of the corner there from the cars ahead. Wayne gets a really good exit though, and he's on the power and he's opened up 2 car lengths. Is that going to be enough? The cars you can see ahead is Ollie and Sam, so that battle is still effective. Here's the run over speed here from Kingy. Is he going to have enough on the brakes? He's lifted out. Is he going to have a look on the inside? Wayne looks to defend. Kingy takes his line around the outside. No way through from there. Will Kingy have a look for the inside move coming out to the final corner? There is Sam. He's now ahead of Ollie. So Sam's got ahead of Ollie in the slipstream at the moment, and Kingy is stuck behind Wayne. But Wayne is having a really good race so far. He's keeping it on track. Is there a move into the first corner for Kingy? Late on the brakes, car's nice and squirrely, hits in the ABS. Now it's the battle of getting onto power. Kingy has a better exit this time. Wayne looks to the right hand side, Kingy takes the left. He's going to pick up a toe from the car behind. The car in front, as we see Kingy on the inside line. He's going to have to brake more, but he does have the car ahead for the corner. But Wayne is going to fight back. Is there enough? No, Kingy's ahead. So Kingy is now ahead, and Wayne will have to evaluate a way through if he can keep him to the back of him. Sam, now free of Ollie, has pulled away ever so slightly. So Kingy, oh, a little bit of kiss of the wall there. Just a little bit of smoke flaring. And you've already got a tiny bit of damage, Sam. You want to add a bit more to it. The race has reached its conclusion though. This is the final lap, so anything to be done needs to be done now. This is your race leader. Really comfortable race. He's really enjoyed this race. And potentially going to be picking up the fastest lap as well. There's Harry, who is going to pick up his first win of this evening. So Harry takes the win in the second race of the final round. Here's Valeside coming around the final corner. Good race for Valeside. He is the Lamborghini Super Trofeo champion, so he leaves with another podium, but he also wins with the trophy as well. This battle behind, there is Kingy for third. The battle for third, there's Ollie in the red and white. Kingy's got 2 corners effectively as the chicane, as Ollie looks to defend. One more corner after this. Kingy will need to get a really good run. Ollie's run wide, he's on the gravel. He's kept a few wheels on track though, so he's not cut the corner, but he will be compromised coming to the final corner. Has Ollie got enough He needs to get a really good exit here. Kingy's got a much better exit, but the line is just there. And it is Ollie who takes third. Kingy takes fourth. Wayne is the driver who takes fifth. Sam, in the end, has dropped away there. So Sam, something's happened on that last lap, and Sam has picked himself up in 7th position. Ice Dude is going to take P7, but there's Charlie Goff directly behind as well. So wonder what happened to Sam on that last lap. He did a 2:30, so definitely had a bit of a moment. Charlie's going to take P8. Jinx should take P9, and then Liam will pick up the final place on the grid. We did have a driver retire from that race. It was a biscuit. A biscuit retired from the race in the end after being a little bit down the order. So just check the timing. So yeah, definitely Harry with the fastest lap. He gets the bonus point. And we'll see how that affects the overall standings. Just waiting for the final classification to come through. There we go. So Harry leads Valeside, Ollie in third, Kingy in fourth, Wayne in fifth. Sam had a really good race in sixth, but only because he dropped off the last lap. Ice Dude in seventh, Charlie off eighth, Jinx ninth, and Liam in 10th. So Harry takes the full 20 points and 1 point for the first lap. Valeside picks up 17 points, and it was Ollie who picks up the 15 points to round off the podium. Now we'll see our race times get ever so slightly longer. We'll go into the 15 minutes now for our races, but still only 10 minutes for practice, and we're going to go into the classic that is the Aston Martin DBR1 as the drivers set up the cars. I'm just going to take this moment to take a very short break, and I'll be back with you when the drivers are all ready to roll. So we're back for the third race of tonight, third of 5 in the final round of the season. If you've only just joined us, we saw the first race in the Formula Renault 3.5s see Sam take the trophy for the Formula Renaults. It was Kingy who took the P2, and Inter All Sorts, who was leading the championship coming into the race, not available to race tonight. He dropped down into P3. Now we just saw Harry take victory in the Super Trofeos in the second race, and he is going to finish 5th overall or 4th overall in those standings. Valeside, he wins the championship convincingly on 99 points. Kingy is the guy who takes P2, and then Inter All Sorts and Charlie Guff share the spoils on 63. Going into the DBR1 championship, so this is the third round of the night. It is Ambient Stub who leads the championship by 11 points, but Ambient Stub is not racing here tonight. He has other engagements, so Inter All Sorts and Ambient Stub's not able to race his final round, which effectively means that Harry and Sam, who currently share second position with 61 points, are the two who are battling for the championship in this DBR1 category. Kingy is in third on 54 points, and then Inter All Sorts, not racing tonight, is in fourth. And then round up the top 5, it's Ollie who finds himself in 5th. So we are down to 10 drivers for this final race. If you look through the grid, there's Ollie. He's in P5 as mentioned. He's in the bright yellow 46. Very much likes to drive this car rally style. If you've not seen any of the footage, Ollie, very good car control in this car, so his style might cost him a little bit here. There's not so many run-off areas to use. Kingy is in the number 19, that nice kind of bluey grey livery there, flying round. He's in a position to surprise these guys if he can get a good result here, so he's only 7 points behind the guys fighting for the championship lead, so in definite position. Wayne in P5, just looking to get some points, as much points as he can in this car. This is a car, speaking to Wayne, that he's finding himself, he quite enjoys. It's certainly got a very different driving style though. And it's a car you're going to have to nurse around this course, but it do look fantastic coming over the hill there. See flames coming out of the exhaust as he kicks down the gear, round the left-hander, back on the power nice and early. Wayne already looking far more comfortable in this Aston Martin DBR1 than he's done in the other cars, but he had a fantastic run out in the Lamborghini Super Trofeo. If I remember correctly, a very minimal incident in that race. There's Liam in the number 14. This is a car, again, slightly more custom to the drivers like Liam, like Charlie Guff. So expect to see these guys start to put on some interesting times. Ice Dude, he is in the number 30. Here he is leaving the grid right, even the pit stop right now. Charlie Guff in the red 22. Sam in his number 8. He's flying up the hill to start his first flying fastest lap. Harry in the green number 50. Getting very sideways on that right hander here. Braking really early, getting the cars turned in. This is where the drifty style will come in helpful, but Harry there taking drifting to a bit much of extreme, going off track. Here's Jinx in the 45 with the blue and white. So Jinx gets used to the braking points in this car. He definitely will do very well. And there's Obisky in the maroon 28. So that's the 10 drivers for this final race in the DBR1 Championship. The overall standings, as Obisky's going for a little bit of a donut there in the first corner. I don't think that was entirely intentional, but it looked good in the cameras nonetheless. The overall standings see Harry leading Valeside by 18 points overall. Ambient Stub, who's not racing, drops down to 3rd, 2 points ahead of Sam Thumbfinger in 4th and Kingy in 5th. So it looks like Harry will be the one taking the spoils. Now remember, there is a place in the overall in the special event happening on the 20th of December, up for grabs for the overall winner. Now Harry has already got a place for winning the Touring Car Championship, so if he wins the overall championship, the place will default down to the next driver, and if their place has already been taken elsewhere, then it'll keep defaulting down. So it's absolutely crucial that drivers a little bit further down. We'll see this can get very sideways. He's not going to be able to catch that, surely. He's not. See him return to the pits very shortly. So yeah, see, whoever's slightly further down the order, picking up these points in these last rounds could be absolutely crucial to find themselves racing in the in a day-night and mini endurance special event on behalf of Fresh Sim Racing. The other ways drivers can get in to race in the championship, so you have the 3 overall championship winners. There's the driver who attends the most races, so that should see Wayne take his place, providing no disconnects tonight. Wayne should take his place in this special event as well. And then we run a time trial event, which is currently very much open. Whoever runs the fastest lap in the Ferrari and whoever has the fastest lap in the Ford, you guaranteed a place. So any drivers, if you're watching back in the stream, as it currently stands, this is your inside information. Get your laps in, because it could mean getting a place in this very special event. This is the second time we've operated together, the 2 leagues coming together. The first time we had Group C1s and GT1s racing around Le Mans circuit, the modern Le Mans circuit, and Ambient Stub was led the flag for Fresh Sim Racing. He won the GT1 class, but the overall points did lead in favour of our opposition. So that's something that we want to be addressing this next time around. Currently watching Kingy. We're going to jump on board with a lap of Bathurst on board with Kingy, and he's got car ahead. So he's got a little bit of a tow coming up this hill. Now the tow is absolutely crucial in these cars. Not much aero, but you're going to gain such a massive speed advantage from being behind the car ahead. If the cars run close enough for long enough, you don't want to be the front car potentially leading to left lap. He's took a little bit too early into the corner there. He's got it controlled though, and around, so no major dramas into the wall. No cars around, so he's reversed back to the grid. Oh, that's a moment there between the 2 cars. So there's a yellow flag in sector 1, yellow flag in sector 2. Number of cars, drivers struggling to get used to the different driving style. So we jump on board with Harry. Over the hill with wide scan left hand side. The car gets very sideways here. He's off the power ready, braking down the gears, mounting the curb on the left hand side, getting well off the grass this time around. And braking really early down the gear, using the full power torque band of these very powerful but old engines. A 1:32.7 that time around by Harry. So Harry and Sam are the drivers to keep an eye out for. Harry is in the bright green, number 50, and Sam in the number 8. Sam is at the top of the hill coming down. Sam's currently 4 seconds, or 3.5 seconds slower than Harry on these fastest laps, but bear in mind this is just a little bit of a practice, a bit of a shakedown more than the practice, just to get used to the cars. and the setup that you want to run. And then when it comes to the race, we may see completely different results, specifically with the random grid that is in place. Since I'm already 1.7 quicker up this time around. And down here, can he find any more time in his final section of the track? Car's a little bit more stable than Harry coming through that corner, but it's a bit more of adjustment to get back onto the line. Back on the power though, comes down the hill. Sam with a much later braking point than Harry. Harry braking a good 20 meters earlier. Sam braking a lot later and getting the car sideways on entry. So a 134.8 there for Sam, pretty much matching Ollie with a 134.5. Rest of the field getting involved in a few instances, so not many times coming up on the board. Kingy's in there with a 237. And the Westfield in with the 240 sort of time, so we'll see how these times all pan out when it actually comes to the race. 2 more races after this one. Effectively, what I would say are the going to be the races with the most entertainment. The Clio Cup, so the Renault Clio, and then the final race will be in the Ginetta GT5s. Both races will be 15 minutes. As we wait to see what our random grid is going to bring us. Wayne, Jinx and Charlie Guff, the drivers down track. I think it is Charlie Guff potentially, or even Jinx we're waiting for to come across the line. As Charlie Guff runs very wide. Goes for a bit of rallying in his red and white 22 car. So for the final time this season, the guys will pick up their selection of cars. The next their setup, sorry, pick up the setup. As the random grid brings Kingy in number 19 taking P1. Jinx in the 45 is in P2. Ice Dude is in P3 at number 20, number 30. Sam Thumfinger, he has the advantage in 4th. Wayne is in P5. Liam in P6. Harry in P7. There you can see the number 8 on the right hand side. That's the guy he's fighting with for the overall championship in this car series. Obiski in the 28 in number 8, in position 8. Ollie in 9th on the 46 car, and there's Charlie Guff in the 22 at the back of the field. So keeping an eye on the number 8 and the number 50 for the championship. Also Kingy in the number 19 can put up a bit of a stir here if he can keep his nose nice and clean. So waiting for the lights to go green. 3 reds. And we're away at green. Sam gets a fantastic start, as does Harry. So Harry around the outside of Wayne. Sam looking to follow Kingy through turn 1, and Jinx gets well off the racing line. Harry is straight there up into 3rd. He's on the outside. His head now is in 3rd. So there is Kingy in the number 19, head of 8. Sam. Then they have Harry in the number 50. Sam looking for the outside line. I don't think he's going to have much room around there. Kingy looking to the inside. Is there any way through for Sam? Not this corner round. That's going to allow Harry to knock on the door though. Jinx is currently holding 4th. Ice is in 5th. Liam in 6th. Wayne 7th. Ollie 8th. Charlie Goff in 9th. And Abiski in 10th. Sam looking to make sure that door is firmly closed as they come to the cut-in. See all drivers off the line nicely and all across the grid. A little bit of a touch the wall there by Kingy, getting slightly oversteer and exit. Hopefully he hasn't picked up much damage there, but he's definitely lost a lot of speed running up the hill. Here's your top three: Kingy in the 19, Sam in number 8, and Harry in the green number 50. It's going to be a very interesting slipstream battle coming down the hill. See if these drivers can keep it nice and clean. Over the hill they go. And here's the problem: is keep the cars out the wall best you can here. You don't want to lose any speed by hitting the wall. Sam's had a really good run off the corner there though, and he's dropped Harry ever so slightly, but it's Harry just looking to get some breathing room to the final corner and get a really good exit. So there is Kingy looking to defend, but Sam's going to look for the inside. Sam in the number 8 on the left hand side. Has he got enough speed? He does have the beneficial line, but he'd want to get this done a little bit earlier if possible. Kingy holding the left hand side. Sam is through, but can he get the car stopped in time into the left hander? So there's Sam up into the lead, Kingy in P2, and Harry now for company in P3. So Harry's going to look to the inside here. Harry's got a much earlier braking zone though, so we saw this in practice. Harry's braking a good 20 meters earlier than Sam, but this does give Harry a really good run off the exit. And in fact, he's going to have the inside line coming into turn 1. And Kingy knows his corner is done up. He's broke nice and early. He's going to look to gain a good run and exit and fight back up the hill. Has Kingy got enough of slipstream ahead to get the run on the outside? Sam is on the racing line, as is Kingy, so Kingy should have the slipstream advantage. Has he got just enough ahead going into turn 2? Right around the outside, but Harry holds his line on the inside. Really good racing from these two. Harry is now, you'd think, free to hunt down the rest of the guys ahead, but further back, there's Isud in P4. He's in a little bubble of his own right now, coming on in the second lap. As is Wayne, who's got 3 seconds ahead, 3 seconds behind. Ollie is that man who's behind, started last on the grid, or towards the back of the grid in his 46 car. He's batting his way through. Jinx has dropped down to 7th, but he's still riding a really good race. Let's hope he can keep it out the wall and have a nice clean race. As we say, that bit of a moment with the wall right there. That's Charlie Goff in a 22 behind, and he's got Liam in number 14 behind him. Abiski has dropped off considerably, not enjoying his race night the last 2 races for sure. His battle out front though, all drivers are in the same sector, so all drivers currently in sector 2. This is the lead battle though, as Harry gets the car very sideways on exit. That was Sam in first, Harry is in second, and then Kingy, he's at the back of the screen there in the number 19. He's in third, but he's got a good gap to the rest of the field. In fact, Jinx has dropped down the order now, so something happened at the top of the hill, and Jinx is now dropping down the order pretty quickly. Wayne finds himself on the back of Ollie. But here is that battle. Wayne looking to get to the outside. Ollie is into 5th. Wayne is now 6th. Charlie Goff behind 7th. He has friend and battle. Liam behind. Liam in the 14. Charlie Goff in the 22. Around here at Bathurst, so Charlie goes a little bit wide, gets too much power down. Is he going to be able to defend? Here, as we go racing around Bathurst, we do have a red car and a blue car currently having a race, and it looks like the blue car of Liam is going to take the advantage, defending onto the inside. That's the line he's going to want to take. Stop Charlie Goff getting on the inside. We saw Kingy take the different line, get a better run off the exit. How's Charlie gonna have a good run into turn 1? I don't think there's going to be any movement there. Both drivers flashing, letting each other. each other appreciation of the racing. The battle further ahead though is hossing up. Obviously there's Ice Dude in the number 30. He's dropped away from the lead battle. He's now a bit further behind. And in fact Ollie is through, and now Wayne is looking to get on the attack. So Ice Dude is struggling for a little bit of speed coming up the hill. Wayne's having a look around the outside, a moment with the wall, but has he got enough momentum? He just drops out a little bit too much momentum coming up the hill, and Ice Dude picking up a bit of the grass on the inside there. You don't want to do that too often because your car will get very loose and end up in the wall on the outside. Just going to jump on board with Wayne. This is his view at the top of the hill. Brakes it down the gear, rides over the curb, again braking in a nice straight line, tucks the car in on the power nice and early for the left-hander. Now flat through this left-hander and brake a little bit before the corner, turn it in, brake in a straight line coming down the hill, get the car tucked in, massive amounts of understeer for Wayne, but he does a magnificent job to keep the car out of the wall. We have had a retiree in this race. It looks like Liam has retired, he's disconnected. He's not on my screen, so he'll be recorded as a no result. Wayne not able to regain that time, lost a massive amount of understeer. Up ahead though, it has all changed. Harry currently leads, it's Kingy in second, and Sam, who can only assume has had a bit of a moment on the final chicane, has gone all the way around as we see another driver is out. Is that Jinx? Yep, Jinx not able to continue. So what I thought would be the most reliability race, but who can keep the most consistent in the Formula Renaults, is actually turning out to be the vintage DBR1. So as it stands, it will be Harry who takes the spoils in the DBR1 standings. Remember, the current championship leader Amit Stubb not racing tonight. Hope wherever you are, Amit Stubb, you are enjoying yourself and having a great time. I'm sure you'll be focused on that M1 Pro Car Championship, which could definitely be yours for taking on a Wednesday evening. Past the halfway point there, Sam's gone on the gravel in a very weird place there, so not sure if what's happening in the world of Sam Thumbfinger, but he's definitely got his car in a weird location there, and if he keeps doing that, he's going to pick up some damage, and that's going to give Ollie behind an opportunity. And Ollie is closing up ever so slightly. The rest of the field still relatively close for the number of incidents that's occurred. Currently watching number 46 of Ollie chase down Sam, and the number 8 coming down the hill. The only battle close is the battle for 5th. You see that Nico in 5th, the Ice Dude is in 5th, and Wayne is currently in P6, looking to hunt him down at the top of the hill. So if Wayne can get a good exit off the corner, he's going to have a potential look. There is Wayne in the number 5. He's a little bit closer this time around, but I still don't think he's close enough right now to be able to make a move. So just under 5 minutes left to go. Leader is crossing the line now, so effectively be this lap and one more lap to go to be able to make a move. No trouble on the brakes for these two drivers. In fact, Charlie Garfield's having a rather good comeback race. He's in P7 and potentially closing the gap up ahead. You see, as these guys cross the line, there is Ice Dude, his last lap around, a 2:41. Wayne 2:39.3. and Charlie Goff at 2:38.6. So yeah, Charlie Goff is definitely closing the gap to the guys ahead. These two have to be careful. Is that enough of a gap though, with effectively 2 laps remaining? Ollie caught up 4 seconds, over 4 seconds the last lap around Sam, so is Sam carrying a bit too much damage from those few glances with the wall? Or is Ollie just carrying that little bit more pace, and Sam has another moment with the wall there, only a kiss this time? But certainly too many of those are going to start adding up. Wayne now much closer to the back of Ice Dude. Charlie Goff coming through that as well, so the two very close battles out on track. Cars not separated by much, so a small mistake could cost an awful lot of time and positions. Wayne does seem to be the more comfortable driver out of the two in this battle. Nico Ice Dude seems to be struggling as he's gone a little bit too narrow there and is into the wall. So yeah, just caught a bit too much grass on the inside, and that's now going to cause him a number of issues coming back down the hill. But Wayne is free and he's up into P5. That should be the pinnacle for Wayne, unless these guys out front have a major moment, because there's a 15-second gap, over 15-second gap to make up to get closer up and higher up the field. Race leader Harry is coming across the line now, so we're on to the final lap. This will be the 6th and final lap of the DBR1 season. You're watching Ollie in the 46 try and close the gap down to Sam Thumbfinger in the number 8 ahead. Sam leading the race early on, but a number of issues see him drop down the order. In fact, Ollie was only 8/10 quicker that time around. This is the last lap though, Ollie, so you need to get a move on if you want to have another spot on the podium. Ollie got the podium in the Super Trofeo race prior to this one, because Sam Thumbfinger had a moment in the final on the final lap, so could be a very interesting gnarly once again. Sam taking a much narrower line but getting much closer to the apex around the cutting. Both cars up onto the power, and a nice run that Ollie is going to get a good slipstream and got a nice pull up the hill, so he does gain an advantage there. Can he use it? Can he get close enough coming out the final corner? They get a good run off the corner. Sam will know this. He'll be looking to try and disrupt him all he can. As Ollie has a look on the inside at the top of the hill, actually, Ollie's gone for a move on the inside. It's a really good move by Ollie. Can he hold it under the brakes coming down the hill? Sam getting a little bit loose on the entry to the corner, ends up off the racing line, and Ollie takes advantage, but can he get the car slowed down to the final corner? He's run very deep though. Sam's going to have a much better exit. Is that going to be enough coming down the hill? As Ollie has a bit of a nibble of the grass and that pulls him wide. Certainly going to be a very interesting finish. Here is the race leader and effectively championship winner coming down the hill into the final corner, and Harry wins his second consecutive race and the second race of the night. So the championship should go to Harry, barring a numerical error on my part. Kingy will take P2. That's Abiski coming across the line in 8th, or crawling across the line in 8th with a bit of damage. Who is it that takes the final podium spot? It will be Ollie for the second time tonight. Good racing for Ollie. Really good overtake at the top of the hill. Sam kicking himself a little bit. He takes 4th. Wayne will take 5th, after his epic battle with Ice Dude behind Ice Dude, dropping off the last lap though. He's been carrying a bit of damage for sure. And then Charlie Goff will finish the race off and take the last in the 7th place. Fastest laps on the board again go to Harry. Harry with that very smooth early braking style, able to pick up the fastest laps. So not just 2 races, 2 wins in the 3 races and 2 fastest laps as well. As we watch Charlie Goff come across the line to complete the race. There we go. So that is the end of the 3rd race. We're going to head now to the 4th race, which is going to be the Renault Clios, as we total the points in the background. Let's just find the Clios. Here we go. Wait for the drivers to set their liveries. And with 8 drivers scoring points this time around, we now have the overall championship standings in the DBR1, and it is indeed Harry who takes the spoil of points with 82 points. So 82 points for Harry. Sam Thumpfinger takes P2 with 74, and Ambient Stub holds in 3rd with 71. Kingy unlucky to have 4th with 71 points, and Ollie will take 5th with 60 points overall. So that is how the standings go for the DBR1. So how is it looking for the 4th race in the Clios? So Ambient Stub leads Harry by 1 point. Remember, Ambient Stub not racing tonight. By Harry. So Harry has 62 points. Sam Thumpfinger is 4 points behind with 58. And then there's Charlie Goff in 4th on 54. So look out for Charlie Goff. He's in the running, barring a big mistake from the guys ahead. Charlie Goff definitely front wheel drive specialist, and definitely in those Clios. Go straight into the practice session. Give drivers that bit of time, but the overall championship is leaning in Harry's favour now. If he wins this by a 2-point advantage over Sam, then Harry will take the championship overall. Vale not able to complete the final 2 races, so Harry's on 340 points, Vale on 310, but he's not going to improve anymore. Sam Thumpfinger is on 308 in 3rd, so there's a 38 point gap overall, with 20 points for the victory and 1 bonus point available in the final race. Harry just needs to make sure he gets a favourable difference. So let's, as the guys come out for their shakedown, bit of a formation up and shakedown. Who have we got racing round? So there's Liam. We have lost a driver from our list. Check that out in a moment, find out which driver who is we have lost. Harry is in the room. Kingy is not here, so Kingy is the guy currently in the lobby, so should be able to join the next 5 minutes or so and be able to take part in the race. So here's Ollie. Ollie's in the number 4. He's that red and silver livery. Keep an eye out for Ollie. Again, a front wheel drive specialist, so getting used to this track, a very different driving style. Should see him. Kingy is back in the room. In fact, Kingy's back with us now, so there's no dramas there. Wayne is in the number 5. He's in the yellow and silver. See Liam in the yellow 130 missed, as the blue car didn't miss coming down the hill. Charlie Goff in the yellow and white, the 146. Yep, 146 there. Charlie Goff drifting around coming down the hill. Has he got able to slow down in time? He has. Sam should be around as Harry is around there, so been a moment there with a car ahead. Unusual to see Harry around. Harry in the blue 59, the Almanac livery. Just wait to see what Jinx is running down the hill. He's in the 164 as he's lifted off there and got a bucket load of lift off oversteer. So it's definitely something for these cars as a Bisky struggling around in the 176. The key component of these Clios is the lift off oversteer, so the moment you're lifting off that throttle, the back end want to spin around because there is so much grip in the front tyres. So they've got a very, very short time, these drivers, to adjust and get up to pace. So nearing the halfway mark in the practice already, and only one driver currently set a time. These are like longer laps and there's been a few incidents, so it's going to be a very, very interesting race. Don't forget, if you're one of the drivers watching back to see how well you've done or a different angle of your race, don't forget to drop a like on the stream. It really does help everybody out. And with the end of season 2 and the start of season 3 looming in the new year after the Christmas break, hopefully we'll be able to get a bit more racing. I know a lot of the drivers are very excited for the Trans Am series heading to America with the 69 Camaro and the 66 Mustang around American tracks. Just needs to iron out a few of the details, but the tracks are all done in order. We're even going to end the season at a special event around Daytona. So a lot of interesting races up ahead in the new year. I'm just going to jump on board with Kingy and see here's Lap running up the hill. Very much a different power outlet, and the slipstream is going to be very, very strong in these cars. So you're going to want to make sure you get into a group of other cars. You don't want to be out on your own. Much later braking zone in these front wheel drive cars and getting the front end in and powering on up the hill. Very nice line there by King in the inside. Make sure the car doesn't run wide on exit. Now it's key to keep your foot absolutely planted around these corners. You don't want to lift off too much because that back end will want to bring itself around. But you don't want to keep on too much power and end up with too much understeer around. So you can hear King, he is feathering the throttle there through the corner. Here again, just a slight lift off, but then back on the power. Doesn't want to be off that throttle for too long. Now this is the tricky bit. This is where you have to be very, very careful because that back end wants to follow around. Kingy taming that oversteer very nicely. Timing not quite there, but this is only his second lap around, so something he'll balance out, getting the car very sideways to the final corner. Little kiss of the wall, but back on the power and down the hill. So Harry with the car ahead of him, and so he's done a 2:31.4. He's a driver in contention for another championship here. So another good result. 5 points favourable to Sam Thumfinger. We'll see Harry take his second championship. This is how close the racing has been so far this season. With the way our drop round system, all drivers have to drop one of their rounds. So any drivers who miss a round, they're not going to lose out on a chance to win the championship just because they weren't able to attend the week. Oh, we see Harry get very, very wide there, and into the tyre barrier. So that's the end of that lap. As we check in on Wayne, who's coming down the hill. As we'll see, the first time we'll see Wayne cross the line to set a competitive lap time. We still don't see Wayne set a competitive lap time because that was his out lap. So now we're going to see him rush up the hill under the 2-minute mark. So anybody starting a lap now this will be their last time around, and the guys at the top of the hill coming down might be able to get one more in, but it's going to be touch and go. So remember, this is the last race of the season, round 6 of 6. The first round saw the Sprint Race Championship head out to Alton Park International. Our second round was at Catalunya National Circuit. We then went to Laguna Seca in round 3, Nürburgring Sprint Circuit in round 4, Brands Hatch GP in the rain for round 5, and this round 6 at Bathurst. All 6 rounds live streamed here on the Fresh Sim Racing YouTube channel. So you can be able to go back and watch any of the races from the season. And if there's any moments in the season that you particularly enjoyed, don't forget to drop a comment and have a bit of a discussion with the drivers. Some of the drivers will be able to see the comments and hopefully be able to have a bit of a chat back with you. We're seeing Wayne taming his car through the very twisty section. The timer is now up, so all drivers crossing the line will not be able to get any more time in to familiarise himself with the track in these cars. Barring any connection issues, we will see 10 drivers racing this fourth race of the evening, with one more race to go after this one. The final race will be in the Ginetta GT5s. As we say every week, the GT5s are very much a league favourite, unless you're Ice Dude, who has a undying hatred of the cars. But it doesn't stop him being very quick, as we see Wayne set to 2:45. It's quite a competitive time for very minimal running for Wayne. Sam's coming up the hill, so his time is done. Liam coming down the hill, he'll be the last guy to cross the line. Able to attain a lot of understeer and oversteer simultaneously coming down the hill then. 10 seconds faster as it seems on this lap, so he's currently in the position for 2:44. You can find a bit more time in the final corners. He'll be certainly a little bit more comfortable going into the race knowing that there's an effective race time there. Up through gears and then very late braking zone, gets the car nicely turned in, back on the power nice and early. A much later braking zone than we saw in the DBR1, but these cars much better on the brakes, and front wheel drive also helps getting the stopping power down. Liam there, yeah, it was a 2:34 that time around, so a much better lap. If you can do that 6 times, he will find himself in a really good position at the end of the race. So Harry, who is in pole position for this race right now, expect him to have a good drive away, and barring any mistakes, we've seen him do a few mistakes in practice, he should take good place. Wayne in P2 and Jinx in P3. Look out for Wayne, he has some nice good clean lines. Kingy in P4 and Abiski in P5. Liam we just saw do a very competitive time, he's in P6. And then towards the back half of the grid, we have Charlie Goff in P7, a front wheel drive specialist a bit further down, so a little bit of chaos further back, as is Ollie. Ollie and Charlie Goff should have a really interesting battle, and Sam down there as well. Don't ever rule out Sam thumping it if he can keep it out of the wall. Ice Dude in P3. So let's jump to the front of the grid as the drivers wait for their right. Says 3 reds. Long hold there across to the green. Really good start further back. A little bit of rubbing as we go though, but there's Harry takes the lead into the first corner as Abiski has a bit of a contact with Kingy there, and Kingy is around, so a little bit of a contact there. Kingy is around and he's got a very long recovery drive up the hill. So there's Harry under pressure from in the tow there from Wayne, and then the rest of the field, Bar and Kingy chasing them each other up the hill. So Harry leads Wayne, and Jinx is in P3. Let's hope Jinx can keep it nice and clean in his front wheel drive car. He does enjoy this car a little bit more than other cars we've raced tonight. That's Ollie in P4 getting around Liam, and then further behind you have the Abiski who has that moment with Kingy early on, and then Ice Dude, Charlie Goff and Sam all battling out around the cut-in. Sam keeps out of the wall, and then Kingy in his recovery drive, he's going to be giving it all to catch up to the back of this battle. Out front though, Ollie is now ahead of Jinx, so Ollie is right on the back of Wayne, and even though they're very similar liveries, they are not teammates. There are no teammates in this championship. Everyone is racing independently. Wayne getting very wide on the grass over the hill. We saw Ollie make a brilliant move on inside of Sam in the DBR1 championship, not so this lap around. I would expect it as the car goes very sideways there. That's Jinx going very sideways, and he's going to lose a load of positions coming down the hill. Let's hope he doesn't get too much damage. In fact, there's Wayne getting very sideways on. That's going to give Ollie the opportunity on the inside, but now Wayne will have the tow down the hill. That is Liam in P4, the white, yellow and black livery car of Liam. Did say to watch out for Liam after that practice run, so Liam is coming down the hill and he's got such better run on the inside, such a powerful tow in these cars, so Wayne hopefully will be able to use the tow getting back, but he's very slow off that corner. Wayne, you've got to concede the corner, and there's a bit of a smoke there as Ollie takes up the P2. Harry out front has drove away. Here's your race leader coming down into the final corner to end the chaos that was the first lap. So Harry leads the first lap. There's Ollie in P2, Liam in P3. Wayne is going into the pits. He must have picked up considerable damage because Wayne would try and wait it out if he could, but he's obviously picked up a lot of damage. Charlie Goff now inherits 4th, and there's O'Bisky right behind. O'Bisky must consider himself lucky that he didn't get any damage from the collision he had on lap 1 with Kingy. So there's Sam, and in fact Kingy is now up into 9. He's looking for a way past Jinx there. Wayne in the pits. He's had his repair, so he's out and done. So he's still going to come out ahead of Jinx. Jinx going to be driving with a lot of damage, so his aim is just to try and outlast the guys ahead. Ollie, though, on the straight going up the hill, has gained time on the race leader. So Harry was the fastest man on lap 1, but Ollie currently closing that gap down. So there is Ollie in the number 4 coming round. You see Liam behind taking a very interesting line out of the cutting, but he's in P3. Charlie Goff in P4. He's got O'Bisky for company. Now Bisky's having a really good race here. He's not had much luck in the other 3 races so far tonight, but let's see how well he can hold in these front wheel drive cars. He does enjoy racing them. Down the back of the grid, Sam leads the bottom half. He's now free of the battle behind. There's Ice Dude and Kingy with Wayne a little bit further behind. We're just going to jump on board with Kingy at the top of the hill. You get to see the extra power the run has. As further up the grid, I'm watching someone has retired. I think that's Jinx retired, and it's been a moment for Ollie. So Ollie has dropped down to 2nd. We'll check in for you shortly to find out what happened there. As you see, Ice ahead, get very sideways into the final corner. In fact, there's a car ahead, that's Sam running a bit slowly. So out front, yep, so that's Liam, who's now in P2. Ollie's the car in P3. Harry will be certainly happy to see the relative times changing, because Ollie was catching on that last lap around, but now he's dropping down the order, and he's actually under a lot of pressure from O'Bisky, who gets a little wheel on the gravel and he's around. Very odd place to go around there. Goff's going to be coming round, trying to avoid that collision. He goes and makes a bit of contact with the wall. Bisky going to get moving now. He's going to lose a position to Sam and the momentum. Kingy and Ice Dude behind. Ice looks for the inside, gets the move done. He's going to be compromised. Bisky and Kingy had contact in lap 1. Bisky hit the back quarter panel of Kingy, and Kingy spun around. There's nothing much either driver could do, but Bisky fighting back on the inside line and gains a place back on Ice Dude, who runs very wide. Kingy for good measure follows them both, but now he's going to get a good double toe up the hill. So there's O'Bisky in the blue, light blue and silver, Kingy in the purple and white, and there's Ice, the meat in the sandwich in the white car. Kingy goes to the inside, takes a lot of the gravel, lay on the brakes and gets his way around. He's now free to hunt down the person who caused him to be further down the grid in the first place, and O'Bisky has got a lot of pace though, a little bit of a lock-up going into the left-hander. Sometimes that will cost you time, but often not. There's the race leader coming down the hill. He's got a good 8-second advantage over the cars behind. What he's got to do, Harry, is finish in his position comfortably, and he should take the championship in this series as well as the DBR ones. Liam's got a bit of a gap now to Ollie behind, so he's racing really well in these Clios. Ollie, who was in second chasing down the leader, is losing a lot of time. In fact, you can see the damage on the car as he gets a back wheel on the grass, and that spins the back end all the way around, and he's going to pick up slightly more damage as a result. Charlie Goff's car looking pretty clean, so no contact with the wall for Charlie. Has he got that pace? He's currently almost 6 seconds faster this lap time around, so definitely going to be lapping faster than the guys ahead. There's Sam and O'Bisky currently battling for 5th. Kingy's not part of this battle. He's a bit further back, so I'm not sure if it's been a bit of a moment there, but Abiski on the toe down the hill. He's got the place ahead of Sam, and despite having that spin earlier on, Abiski is now making his way back up the order. Now this was the area where he spun, and he's going to have another moment there. A bit too much curb and unable to stop the car into the wall. He's going to drop down the order. Where is Kingy? Kingy is also off into the gravel. He's gone too deep into the corner. So not a good race for Kingy or Abiski. A few mistakes from both drivers. In fact, this is going to allow Wayne, who pitted early on for damage, to try and climb back through the order. He'll be happy to get back in touch with the field. Although Wayne has got a bit more damage on his car, so when he's had a few more incidents coming down the hill, this car not a favourite of Wayne. He'll be looking forward to the GT5 race coming up next, that's for sure. So past the halfway point now, the final race of the Renault Clios, the 4th race of the night and the final round of the season. It's Harry lighting up the fastest lap boards out ahead, 12 seconds advantage to Liam in P2. This would be a really good result for Liam if he can keep the car out of the wall and keep this rhythm that he's got here. He does have a comfortable bubble to Ollie, who's carrying a lot of damage. Definitely had the pace early on, but in fact he's going to be losing out a little bit of time there. There's Charlie Goff in the background. Don't rule out Charlie Goff. He's in a car with a lot less damage, so if you can, if he was 3 seconds faster on the last lap around, if you can keep that pace up, he should be able to find the way past on the next lap. But we do know part of that time loss was Ollie getting very wide on the corner he's going through now and putting a wheel onto the green stuff, just as Charlie Goff has done there. So Charlie Goff has made the same mistake that Ollie made last lap around, and now he's going to be picking up a serious amount of damage. That was not a light bit of contact with the wall. As we see a bit further back, there's Sam all the way around. Is Sam going to be able to get going before Kingy comes round? So Sam drops down the order, but this does create a 4-way battle for 5th. Abiski, after having 2 spins, he's carrying a little bit of front damage. He's in 5th. He's had 2 spins coming up to this sector now. This is where Abiski's lost the car last 2 laps around. Can he keep the car off the green stuff and on the black stuff? Gets the car braking nice and early. A lot more cautious this time around. Still wide on the grass though. Doesn't hit the wall and stays in a straight line. So that would be a big achievement for Abiski. Ice Dude behind is got is carrying damage coming into this final corner. There's Kingy coming down the hill. Sam Thumpfinger recovering from his spin. Oh, in fact, there is Ice Dude in the wall, driving away now. I'm not entirely sure how we ended up in that position, but that's going to give Sam the opportunity to gain some useful points. The championship battle, though, between Sam and Harry effectively over where current standings, but the battle between Sam and Charlie Goff is very much open for business. Charlie Goff will pick up 13 points from his current position. Sam in 8th will pick up 8, so that's a 5-point difference. That will give, as it stands, Charlie Goff the P3 position. So Charlie just needs to keep it clean out the walls and hope that Sam doesn't gain a point. If they are tied on points, then Sam will take standings due to number of wins. But as saying that, Charlie Goff is giving himself a Ranganathan style 3-point turn with Abiski absolutely hunting down at full pace. It's a very odd place to lose the back of the car, but it's a very odd car to be driving. And he's looking by the little bit of a wobble on the car. He's got considerable damage. You can see the front bumper flapping in the wind. Charlie Duff is really starting to struggle with damage. So if he loses this position, Sam is up into 7th. So as it stands, Sam's will hold P3, but the way Sam's race is going, there's still a lot to play for. Leaders coming across the line now. This should be the final lap. Final lap for the Renault Clio's in Season 2 of the Fresh Sim Racing Club Sprint Race Championship. Harry, the man who is currently going to lead the champion standings and take the trophy, his second trophy of the night, of the season, third trophy of the season, because he won the Touring Cars Championship with 1 round remaining to go. He currently, as we saw last race round, won the DBR1 Championship and now leads the Renault Clio's. He's also clear favourite with 1 race, with Sam was his closest competitors for the overall standings, so this race will see Harry take the overall standings as well. So the only trophy left available will be the trophy of the GT5s. We jump on board for Harry's view coming round the top of the hill for the final lap. Getting the car nicely slowed down in a straight line, tucks the car in. Very wide entry to here, gets on the power nice and early through the gears. And tucks into the left-hander, gets the car running nice and sideways, using that front-wheel drive benefit as he powers down the hill. Further back on the grid, Wayne, who pitted early on after a lot of damage, should finish in 8th place, providing he can keep Ice Dude behind him. Both cars slightly ahead of the leader on track, so they will have to drive the final lap. Through into the chicane for the final time. Nearly a 30-second advantage for Harry. Should see him take the win comfortably though. 1 final corner, nice and easy. Harry cuts. Actually, he rides a little bit of the curb guts onto 2 wheels, but sure he did that for a little bit of show. Harry takes the win, and then we have a 30-second or so wait for Liam, who's currently in position to take P2, which is a fantastic result for Liam. Really good racing. Got off the line, got out of trouble early on, and then had a really good clean race past everyone else who had a few issues ahead of him. But he has had the consistency and the pace to take P2. Ollie, who held the position early on, he's going to take P3. He was his position, his P2 to lose, but valiant effort for Ollie to complete the race with considerable damage going around a few times. Abiski, he's going to take P4. Involved in an incident on lap 1 and a couple of spins midway through the race, but fought back through the field for 4th. Kingy, the recipient of the spin on lap 1, he's going to finish P5 with Charlie Goff picking up a lot of damage, dropping down the order to P6. Sam Thumbfinger should come out in P7. He's got a load of damage. We see there's a yellow flag in sector 1. That's Nika. That's Ice Dude. Yeah, Ice Dude in sector 1's had another moment with the wall, so he's going to be trudging a very damaged car across the line. That means that Wayne is going to pick up P8 as Sam goes for a nice tumble across the line to end the season. Here is Wayne with a very battered car coming around the final corner, and I presume, yep, Ice Dude, his car is completely gone. He's just rolled back down the hill there. He's waiting for the end of the race. But Ice Dude will receive his points for finishing the majority of the race. Fastest lap on us, again, Harry picks up his third consecutive win, third consecutive fastest lap. and that sees him take the overall championship title as well as the results in the Renault Clio. Just waiting for Wayne to cross the line. Nico or Ice Dude are not in a position to finish the race with the amount of damage he's picked up around here tonight. So good result for Harry, really good result for Liam and Ollie taking P3. Good race for Abisky, good recovery race for him and for Kingy. Both drivers set back a number of times and able to claw their way up through the field. As we lead into our final race of the evening, which is going to be the Ginetta GT5s. We'll talk through the final standings of the Clios for you shortly. Let's get everything prepared for the final race. So how the points fare in the Clios. Harry wins the championship on 83 points. Sam Thumfinger holds second in the end on 67. And Charlie Goff, even with the cataclysmic at the end of the race there, he finishes in third with 64. Good result for Charlie Goff in the Renault Clios. Amit Stubb drops down to fourth overall. Not bad considering he has an extra drop round from the drivers around him. Ollie in fifth with 61, and then Kingy in sixth with 53. So one more championship then to decide, which is the Ginetta GT5. The overall standings are at such a point that Harry has won effectively. He has a considerable advantage. It's a 44-point advantage going into the race with only 21 points left to maximum points to achieve. So Harry has won the overall Club Sprint Race Series. Congratulations to Harry. Kingy and Sam are now battling it out for P2. And we'll move over to the general chat shortly just to let the guys know. Valeside not racing for the rest of the evening. He's fourth with 310. Amit Stubb and Inter All Sorts take 5th and 6th. 5th and 6th. So Amit Stubb on 297. Inter All Sorts on 270. Charlie Goff is behind on 238, but barring even with a winner boost, but he's not going to go any further. But he is battling with Ollie for P8. And Wayne is in contention for P7 as well. He's on 229 points behind. So I'm just going to jump across to the game chat. So hello everybody. Hello everybody. Yep. So I'm just moved across to the party chat, guys. Can you hear me? No, so they're not able to hear me unfortunately, so I can't let them know how the championship goes. But the guys chatting very briefly about the change of format happening for next season, something we're trialing on the 18th. So if you like this sort of format of racing, you're welcome to come and join us. Drop a message on the chat or in the comment for and we'll drop you an invite to our Discord. So next season, Sprint Race Championship will still happen, and it is very similar format, but we're going to be running 3 sprint races. So 3 sprint races with qualifying in 3 different cars. Then what will happen is people's time get aggravated, and they are giving a time handicap, and the fastest driver will be given a backup car, a fresh sim racing backup car, which they go around in, and they are the car to beat. They go around, race set time around the track, and then depending on which car people decide and how much time handicap they have, they get to then hunt down the car ahead. We see Bisky there waiting for an awful lot of traffic to be able to spin his car around and carry on his lap. So still got the fun element involved, as what this club sprint racing is supposed to all be about. Small races, very quick races, and everybody getting with fun. As Bisky deciding to do most of the track in reverse, waiting for a number of cars. He seems to be faster in reverse than he was waiting there. A little bit of a nice J-turn, keeps out the wall. Well done, Bisky. So let's see what cars people are driving. So this is Kingy. He's in the number. No, it's Ollie. Sorry, Ollie in the 22. Coming down, it's Kingy's in the number 19 Matilda green livery there. You can't miss that livery from a distance. Wayne is in the 32 Owl livery. So already having a little bit of a battle there with. Not sure who that was. There is Liam in the 30, I think that is. Red and black livery there for Liam. Ice Dude running in the 38, white with red stripes. It's normally this part of time of the night that Ice Dude's had a little bit too much liquid courage and finds his way into a wall, so let's hope he doesn't find that around this last time around. He doesn't particularly enjoy these cars, although he is incessantly quick at them. Charlie Goff in the 29, light blue and silver for him. Sam in the 58 pay car. Could be the pace car if we can keep it out the wall. Harry in the number, I want to say 19. Nope, 21 for Harry. 21 for Harry. Jinx coming down the hill. He's in the number 17 and number 18, the Emochi livery. Yeah, he's in the number 17, as we saw a Biscuit earlier. He's finally got his car around, facing the right way, and he's running up the hill, clicking down one too many gears there, I feel. We see the red livery get very wide on the outside, but avoids making contact with the wall. Now these cars are very much underpowered, so you're looking to take advantage of keeping up your momentum. You must keep hold of that momentum. You lose your momentum up the hill, you're going to be a sitting duck for the cars behind. And if you're in the tow as well, single car, double car tow, the more cars line up together, you're going to get such a speed boost to the guys ahead. So who are we looking out for in this race? Well, Ambient Stub, he's got a he leads the championship as it stands, 71 points, with Harry 10 points behind. So Harry should take the lead from Ambient Stub, providing he finishes the race. Ollie is the next man to look out for. He's got 52 points, Kingy has 50, and then Charlie Goff is behind, further behind with 39 points. Those are the top drivers who are currently racing right now, so keep an eye out for those guys. Harry has got 3 wins, 3 fastest laps, but this circuit is something a little bit special, and one very big moment of mistake could cost you an awful lot of time. As we're watching Abiski power down the hill, Charlie Goff currently not the only car not out on track, although it does look like he is leaving the pit lane now. A lot of time on full throttle in these cars because they're so very much underpowered, but that is part and parcel of what makes them really fun to race with. And you can race so very closely in these cars, they can take a little bit of contact and not end up in a lot of trouble. Remember, Kingy and Sam have a solitary point between them for what is effectively going to be second place overall. So Harry has won the overall championship with 362 points, but then Kingy on 318, Sam on 317 will be battling it out for who takes P2. And with Harry already taking a place in the special with a touring car win, it then falls to Sam should he get the points required. So Sam has very much lot to race for. He wants to take part in these special events. He really enjoys driving in the Ford prototype. So he's a little bit riding on this as well as his pride. I know he wants to beat Kingy, but Kingy in his current outlap is a little bit quicker. And Sam in the yellow and black. These are two cars you're looking out for the closest battle to end the race. Charlie Goff's also a car you want to look out for. He's in that light blue and silver. Get back to him as we're about to finish our final practice event in the Club Sprint Race series for Season 2. And remember, practice is going to be disappearing for Season 3. And I hope we're going to be in a position to be able to bring you some streams or at least some footage, because the type of racing we're going to be bringing you is going to be very, very intense. 3 different cars, the 3 individual races. If you win the race from car 1, you get to pick the car for next week. That's a new feature coming through. And then based on your overall combined time, the overall winner of the 3 who is the fastest overall across the 3 cars, they get to pick the track for next week, and they are the one who has to drive the very slow car that everyone is going to be hunting down in the mini sprint race. It's going to be a 30-35 minute mini endurance race with time handicaps. So the fastest driver in the slowest car will set the time, will set ahead, and they'll do their time advantage, and then the rest of the field, depending on the time handicap they get given, they have to wait on track, and then they'll be given the green flag and free to hunt down the car ahead. And it's the driver who wins the final race of the evening, wins the mini endurance race. They are the one who win the points, if you will, for that night. They win that race championship. Each weekend is each race night is a completely different event. So no points to be awarded. It's just that one night that you need to try your best. And the handicap races are based upon beating yourself. So as long as you can be more consistent than yourself, and be a little bit quicker than yourself, and improve on your own times, then you're in the chip plants for victory. Also means you can have a really bad race and still be in position to win the night, which makes the racing very interesting as well. So very much excited for this race series. Into the final minute now. So everyone who is currently out on track, that will be the last time around at the top of the hill. There's not enough time to come down to finish and start a new lap, as we're watching Ollie come down the hill. Lap times in practice a lot closer in this car than we've seen in previous cars, so look, hopefully this is going to be an omen for the type of racing we've got coming forward. So Harry in contention for third individual title of the night. He has the overall points scores so far, so Harry for the individual title is looking likely as long as he can keep it off the wall. Currently sat in 3rd position, but the 2 guys ahead are currently not racing, so they are dropping points, and Harry has already completed his drop rounds. Ollie is across the line. Sam coming down the hill. He's going to be the last driver across the line. Has he got a time? Harry done it at 2:28.9, so that's a very quick time for Harry. Wayne Orobisky there coming across the line. Zabiskie across the line and Sam across the line to finish the end of practice. Very, very close times there from second down into sixth, so that could be a very interesting battle. We will very much soon see. So for the final time, drivers get themselves all together. It's Zabiskie who takes the prime position alongside Charlie off on the front row. Ollie on the second row is next to Harry. Now watch for Harry, so hopefully gets a really good start. Jinx and Icedude on row 3. Wayne and Kingy take up row 4. And then Liam and Sam at the back of the grid. Now watch for Sam and Kingy. The green car and the yellow car at the back. The Pay and the Makuda livery. These are the guys who are battling for the most change in the overall standings. Harry, as long as he has a good race, he should take the podium, he should take the championship as the drivers are finished preparing. They've chosen the liveries. We're waiting down for 3 red lights, green lights, and we're away. It's a really good start by Zabiskie on pole. Harry gets himself up to third alongside Ollie. And there's a little bit of chaos behind, and our Harry is ahead of Ollie. In fact, so Harry, really good start, and now he's got a good toe behind Zabiskie going up the hill. I'm just going to check, see any false starts. No false starts, so this all starts are all good. Harry now, he wanted the inside. Zabiskie is granted him the inside line. How much is he ahead going into turn 1? So Harry and Zabiskie lead in the way. Charlie Goff finds himself in third. There's Ollie in P4. Both cars taking a bit of a inside look. There's a massive chaos behind, and that's Kingy and Jinx on the roof. So Sam up in P8. Jinx is stuck on his roof. Let's see, there is Jinx. Kingy is back up and running. Can Jinx get reset, or his car race done? Doesn't look like he's going to be able to reset. This is currently Jinx's view, so no, he's not able to reset himself. Kingy with a ton of damage, as we can see there. He is he's chasing down Sam. So as it stands, if Sam holds this position, it's going to keep the same. But there is Zabiskie spinning round, and he's now dropping down the order. So Harry out front, really nice clean first section. He's now got a breakaway. There's Ollie with Charlie Goff for company and Icedude in P4. Wayne and Liam behind him, and then Sam, he just needs to get through the race. He's gained a position now with Zabiskie spun around. Kingy with all that missing aero damage, potentially more spring damage as well, only he will really know. Final race, if it stands like this, Sam will take P2 overall, because he will have 2 points over Kingy. So P7 awards the driver. P7 awards driver with 9 points, and P9 7 with 1 point different between them. Sam will take the lead overall. So he's now on the back of this battle, which gets all the way up into third. In fact, up into second, because Ollie is not too far ahead. In fact, there is the leader race through there. There's Ollie leading the charge there, and we're going to jump on board with Sam. This is his view. That is Wayne ahead of him on the right hand side, very slow off the corner. Liam in the red car on the left hand side, and there's Icedude in the white with red stripes further ahead. So I'm going to have a look on the inside. Very much later on the brakes, able to get stopped in time. Bit of collision with Ollie, and all 3 cars are back ahead. But now Sam, he's lost the he's going to lost a bit of momentum. A jump on board with Wayne. He's got a really good slipstream here. Up through the gears. Is he going to pick up enough speed to have a look on the inside? Icedude doesn't think about defending. Wayne's got a really good toe. Is he going to be able to find a way through? He does have the favourable inside line, but he concedes the position, not far enough ahead. Very good awareness there for Wayne. He could have made a move on the inside, but it could have caused absolute mayhem, as we saw in the first corner last lap around. Kingy has not pitted, so he's racing with the condition he's got, and Zabiskie with a lot of debris on the front of his car. So after he travelled onto the gravel, he is currently down in 8th. Sam having a look on the outside. It'll be very tricky to make a move through there, but you do gain a massive speed advantage in the toe. So there is Ice Dude ahead of Liam, who leads Wayne, and then riding on board Sam, Thumfinger here. Jinx is into the pit. In fact, Liam's run very deep and wide there. Liam onto the gravel. Sam having a look at the inside. We saw Ollie put a move on Sam on that position, but in that time Sam made a bit of a move on the inside, bit of a mistake on the inside, and lost the back end corner. So Sam gonna look to just get a really good clean exit. Nice wide entry, looking for the cutback. Power on nice and early. Revving the car out nice and fully. Can he get a good tow down the hill? Those 2 cars ahead. There's a car going very slowly on the inside there. Ice Dude goes to the inside. Wayne's gone to the outside. Going almost 3 cars wide. Liam is back on track, and that is Wayne ahead of Ice Dude, and Ice Dude shuts the door on Sam. All cars slow down, but the 2 cars ahead, they're running onto the gravel. Apologies there. Absolute chaos there as Wayne and Ice Dude leave the track, and Sam, able to stay on the tarmac, gets a position. He's up into P5. So under 10 minutes left to go. It is Harry who leads 10 seconds with 9 minutes left to go, who leads Ollie in P2. There is Ollie looking to lap Jinx ahead. Charlie Goff is in the silver and blue behind him. Then there is this battle we've been watching. Wayne leads Sam into turn 2. Ice Dude is there in the white, and the red car is Liam recovering after going off into the gravel at the top of the hill. Sam going a massive overspeed, but not enough to be able to make a move early on. Will Sam think about going into the first corner, into this left-hander? Ice Dude is looking to go on the outside. In fact, he has. Ice Dude around the outside. Really good move by Ice Dude. Gets the car slowed as well, as Liam has a little nibble of the wall on the exit of the corner. Now Sam has another tow. All this little bit of battling behind is allowing Wayne to get a tiny bit of breathing room. So 4-car battle. Charlie Goff is catching Ollie ahead on this lap. Liam overcorrects slightly for this time around. Who is that off onto the gravel? I think that could be Jinx getting well out of the way. We do have a car in the pits though. That will be Obiski. Obiski is in the pits, not able to finish this race. Gonna jump on board. This is the view of the bumper of Sam. He's able to get on the outside of Ice Dude, and look at the run he's got, gaining time all the time to Wayne ahead. Down into 8/10 now. Closing up under a second. Brakes down through the gears. Little bit of lift off the curb. Not much changing in the races so far. So Bisky has retired. Jinx, who had that massive crash, was upside down, able to get his car back on its wheels or back round to the pits for repairs. And he is running, but he is running a lap down, almost lapped by the entire field. So there's Ollie who leads. He's starting to pull away actually in this last lap, so Ollie's starting to pull away from the guys behind. Harry, who is running 4 seconds faster than the entire field right now, is out in the world of his own, so he just needs to keep his nose nice and clean, as we expect he potentially do. He will do, but we did see Harry make a few mistakes at the Nürburgring sprint circuit. The more he kept pushing for the fastest lap times. Charlie Goff in P3 is about to be caught up by this battle behind. There is Wayne immediately followed by Sam. So Wayne in the yellow and black owl livery, and then the black and orangey yellow of Sam behind. That's Ice Dude in the white with red stripes at the back of the battle. Liam has dropped off a fair amount now, but he just have a bit of damage on that inside of the car. Definitely not handling how he wanted to. Kingy fighting his way with considerable damage. He's doing a stallion effort to just to keep the car in a straight line, as you can tell. Kingy was part of that battle early on, but as things stand, he's going to lose P2 in the overall standings, because Sam has considerably more points. And we're watching the boards. Charlie Goff now, he's actually dropped further down. So yeah, Charlie Goff, who was running in P3, now is dropped down to P5. He's behind this battle that's happening between Wayne and Sam. So jump on board with Sam one more time. Look at the closing speed in the slipstream. So down into under 3/10 now. Is Wayne going to look to defend, or will he just hold his line and try and keep the best exit? Parks his car in the middle of the road. Wayne looks to park. Yep. Not the ultimate line there by Wayne, but definitely one to deter Sam, as Sam runs wide, carrying a bit more speed. And now Wayne has the better exit coming down the hill. Last time, laps time last time out, so Harry did a 2:28.2. Ollie with a 2:34. Wayne and Sam both hitting 2:32s behind. So Wayne and Sam, this battle is catching Ollie ahead. So being in this tow, if the drivers can figure it out and not battle each other too much, they can realise that they're using each other very much like you would in Daytona to increase their average speed. So just need to work together with 4 minutes remaining, and these guys will catch P2, and then they'll both be able to fight it out in the end. Charlie off behind, we saw in the background, then run a little bit wide, and that's going to give Ice Dude the opportunity to run up the hill. But we jump on board. This is, again, it's the view of Sam Thumbfinger all over Wayne ahead. Both cars lapping the same sort of pace, and if they can keep this up working together, they'll close in, keep closing in on Ollie ahead, who's going to start feeling the pressure the next lap around. The gap coming down to about 2 seconds now. There is Ollie, just saw the glimpse of the white car ahead. Both Wayne and Sam taking a little bit of gravel there, but Wayne is off. Wayne is off, and is he back on track? He is, so no harm done there other than losing the position. And now he's going to be in a position for the tow for Sam. As Sam runs a bit deep, carrying a bit too much speed there. The battle behind between Ice Dude and Charlie Goff heats up a little more. Ice Dude is in the red, the white stripes with white car with red stripes. And Charlie Goff on the inside line. Charlie Goff not allowing Ice Dude to pick up the tow. There's only one line into this right-hander, so it's got not much to do. Charlie Goff needs to be careful of that weaving there. You don't want to take too many moves. That will be frowned upon by the race directors, and he will find himself with a driver warning and potentially points lost. So he needs to keep that racing nice and fair. Wayne has picked up a tiny bit of damage for his little bit of gravel rallying there. But is it going to be enough? Has he got enough pace in this car to keep ahead of the two guys battling behind? He's had a stellar race so far up until that moment, with 2 minutes left to go. Harry is further through the lap, so this potentially could be the last time around. We'll know more when Harry's in the final sector. Ollie in P2, but there is Sam Thumbfinger all over the back. He will want one more lap. Says Sam coming into turn 2. Just not close enough so far, unless Ollie makes a big mistake. Sam was 3 seconds faster last lap, but he doesn't have the toe up the hill he had last time around from Wayne. So coming into the final minute, this effectively should be the last lap. It all depends on whether the leader Harry can cross the line. Now Harry is nearly 30 seconds ahead of this battle for second, although Sam has closed up an awful lot in this section. He's got to be careful he doesn't carry too much speed on the run back down the hill. There is Ollie in P2, Sam in P3. Now we saw this battle reversed in the DBR1 Championship, and we saw Ollie take a move on the inside of the corner, which has been through. Now these cars are slightly different, a lot more stable, so expect to see Sam try to make a move under the toe into the final corner. Sam with a much better exit, foot on the power. Has he got too much speed too early though? Because he's not going to get the toe. He wants to get himself off that gravel though. There is Sam on the inside. He's going to be the outside for the right-hander. Has he got enough of his car ahead? Ollie now fighting back. The leader has crossed the line, so the race is over. So yeah, the race is over and Sam is through. Sam is through. He is in a position to take P2, providing there is no errors in the final corner. Can Ollie fight back? Ollie has a look for the inside. Is he going to be able to make a move? No, he won't. So Sam should take P2. He gets off the corner, exit really well. Ollie's going to take P3. Wayne, really good race for Wayne. Unlucky for one mistake. It's going to cost him a podium position, but he drops down and finishes in P4. It is Ice Dude who's going to finish P6 with Charlie Goff for company in P6. P7, Liam is going to finish his red car. Really good result for Liam. He was racing higher up but picked up an awful lot of damage as he takes out the advertisement boards for a good measure. And Kingy with half a car. Not entirely sure how he's been able to finish the race with that car, but Kingy will finish the race. At least one thing is to be said, he definitely had a better cooling system than the cars around him. We'll wait for Jinx to finish line to top the grid. Fastest lap honours, again, go to Harry. Wait for the final orders. So for the final time, we're just going to run through the results. I'll put my numbers in the magic system here. 20 points for Harry with 1 for the fastest lap. Kingy picked himself up 8 points overall in the end. Sam takes 17 for finishing in second. Charlie Goff finished in 6th. He takes 10 points. Ollie finished in 3rd. 15 points for him. Wayne in 4th. 13 points. And then Jinx gets 7 for finishing result, even though at the end of the first lap he was on his roof. Ice Dude in the end picks up 11 for 5th. Bisky retired from the race. Liam picks up 9 for his 7th position. I believe that is the 9 results. It is. So the overall standings in the GT5 championship, it is Harry who takes his 3rd championship and the 4th one if you consider the overall championship. Ambient Stub holds out for 2nd despite not racing the final round. Ollie takes the honours of P3 and P3 in the end with 3 points ahead of the outside. Kingy, really good result overall with 58 points, but he'll be disappointed to lose out P2 overall. So it is Sam with 334 who takes 2nd and Kingy 326. So that has been the 6th and final round of Season 2 of the Club Sprint Race Championship here at Fresh Sim Racing. I hope you've really enjoyed the racing as much as I've enjoyed watching it. If you have, make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't already, make sure you hit subscribe. If you want to hear more for what we're doing for next season and want to come join us, make sure you drop a comment in the chat, and someone will contact you and get you an invite into our Discord. Other than that, thank you very much for joining us for this season. We hope to see you next year when our racing returns. Until then, have a very good Christmas and a great New Year.